Hello all and welcome to The Big Story, where we discuss the hottest topics of the day right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Haryanto, coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, so be sure to comment, share and like our video. While you are at it, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button to be alerted of our videos. Now I have my newsroom colleagues joining me to talk about the stories that got you talking today. On to our first segment. Now imagine this scenario. It's a Friday evening, you're done with work and looking forward to the weekend. You have dinner plans at Orchard Road. Now taking a private hire car would get you to your destination with comfort. But what about a possible surge pricing during peak hours? You weigh your options, cab, Grab or Gojek. Which offers the best price and shortest waiting time? Now this scenario is certainly all too familiar for many of us, and of course the Straits Times recently did a comparison between taxis as well as Grab and Gojek to see which one offers the best value for time and fare. Now to tell us more of this comparison study, I have with me Senior Transport Correspondent Christopher Tan. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Now, of course, Chris, first up, tell us, how was this comparison done and what were some of the main findings from this study?
Okay, so we did a total of 45 trips across 3 days and across peak hours, morning peak, lunchtime, as well as evening peak. So we sent our interns out to actually take the trips. Right, 5 options: Grab, Gojek, ComfortDelGro app, call booking for ComfortDelGro as well because they are the largest, and Street Hail. Street Hail means any cab that comes along.
Yeah.
So at the end of this, we averaged out the time as well as the cost, and the conclusions were, well, we could say they were quite surprising, and yet people who use these transport modes perhaps some of them know of these. Some of them may not know. The surprising thing to me was that, well, Street Hail was actually quite competitive. Even after all these years, right? Even after 6 years of all these apps coming in, Street Hail is still quite competitive.
And of course, with that as well, you also found out that Gojek offers the best price. Why is this so? Why?
Well, I think for one, Gojek is a newcomer to this arena, and being a newcomer, I suppose it has to offer a very attractive price to draw in customers, right? But you will notice that it has a longer waiting time. So in all, the traveling time will be longer with Gojek. Lowest fare because they haven't ramped up their fleet. They haven't been around, so they haven't ramped up their fleet as aggressively, or their fleet is small compared to Grab and compared to the cabs. But it offers the lowest fare to draw in customers. That's their proposition.
Right. And of course, Chris, there is a new point-to-point passenger transport industry bill that was tabled in Parliament recently. Now, if it were to be passed, how would this bill affect consumers or customers?
I suppose one of the things that will affect us is that we will know the structure of the fares more clearly. Because the Public Transport Council will be overlooking the fares and probably set out some guidelines as to how much surge pricing they can, the private hire players can, implement, and also the bottom, not too low, because they don't want a situation where a newcomer comes in and set a fare that is rock bottom and forces everybody to, it's not healthy as well, not for drivers.
And in your opinion, do you think this kind of structure, is it sustainable?
I think for the longest time, ever since private hire players came in 2013, we've never had a real regulatory framework, to govern them in a manner that we govern, say, the taxi players. Right. So this will change with the new bill, hopefully, to create a more level playing field, if you will.
And of course, again, like we mentioned, the bill was just recently tabled in Parliament. Certainly, nothing has been confirmed yet. We're still waiting for details on that, and for more information on the details of the bill, and of course, with the comparison study that Chris and of course the team did as well to compare the value of in terms of time and fare between taxis and private hire cars. You can visit our website at www.straitstimes.com. Once again, thank you, Chris, for coming on to the show to tell us more on this. Now, moving on to our second segment, of course, still staying local right here. Now, we have seen a spate of cybersecurity breaches over the past year. Now, the latest involving the personal data of more than 800,000 blood donors getting accessed illegally and uploaded on an unauthorized server. Now, in January, MOH revealed that the confidential information of 14,200 HIV-positive individuals had been leaked online. And Singapore's worst cyber attack in June last year. Now, hackers made away with the personal data of 1.5 million SingHealth patients and the outpatient prescription information of more than 160,000 people, including PM Lee. Now, to combat cybersecurity breaches, 13 measures to protect citizens' personal data have been rolled out by the public service sector. More recommendations are to come. Now, to tell us more about these measures, I have tech editor Irene Tham with me. Welcome, Irene.
Hi.
Nice to have you back. Irene, if you could share with us briefly, what are some of these measures that have been rolled out?
Before we go into the measures, the individual measures, the important thing is a common framework will be applied consistently across all government agencies. So what these 13 measures do is they will be applied consistently across from agency to agency to protect a sensitive information based on a common understanding of what sensitive information is. For example, the database of infectious diseases, individuals with infectious diseases, and a database of individuals who were declared bankrupt. So these are some of the most sensitive information out there, and we want to give that data the same amount of the same treatment, whether they reside with one agency or another agency. So maybe we can look at some of the treatment. One of the 13 measures, it's tokenization. Tokenization is a technique which substitutes common identifiers like your NRIC or name with other values that is only known to the agency. A more relatable approach would be what you stored in your Apple Pay wallet or your Samsung Pay wallet is a tokenized version of your physical credit card, your 16-digit credit card. So it's a different string of 16 numbers saved onto your phone. So even if you lose your phone, you don't have to report loss of the physical credit card. So because the numbers are different. So it's the same idea applied across all databases. This is one of the measures, tokenization. Encryption, of course, is important, is one of the measures. With encryption, even if the database had been extracted, it will not be readable. You need to have need to have the keys to open the database to read it. So that's one of the measures. And other things are like they call it data file integrity verification. In short, it means applying a digital signature to the database to allow the content to verify that the data sent by the sender is the same data received by the recipient, and it is not manipulated. There was no unintended manipulation when it was sent to the sender. So it's important because you don't want your blood group data information to be changed, and then when a different blood group is applied to you during emergency, there's a certain amount of risk to that. And also digital watermarking is one of the measures also to identify the source of a leak if a leak had happened.
And Irene, of course, these 13 recommendations have been rolled out or are going to be rolled out, and more recommendations are to come. In your opinion, do you think these measures would help, especially with all the recent spate of cyber attacks or even data leak as well?
If we look at the previous examples, like with the SingHealth incident, the HIV registry information and blood donors information, if the files have been encrypted or tokenized, it would not have been easily read by a hacker, and people wouldn't have been able to identify people, others with HIV, for example. So it makes it one step more difficult for the hacker to find out who the people concerned are. And also other things include encryption and
okay, sorry, I just want to have a better understanding. Okay, so with the HIV individual case, and we talked about this as well, it is a data leak, right? Because it has been done almost maliciously or whichever, right? But then for the other cases, they are breaches. That means somebody kind of hack into the system. Regardless, right, whatever the nature of it, these measures, they are in place to tackle these issues, whether is it a leak or whether it is a hack.
Right. These 13 measures they don't deal with network intrusion. That's separate.
Okay.
They deal with how to protect the data and keep it secure. Measures to safeguard the data, and also to flag if there had been any unauthorized access or prolonged access by an individual, which happened in the HIV case. Dr. Le, Le himself, he was a privileged user and he had access to the file. But his frequent querying, or maybe the amount of data he downloaded from the server, would have been notified, would have been noticed, and alerts would have been sent to the relevant.
Right?
That's right. So then other people can look into to see if why would he need to download such a huge file, and what he does with what we did with the file. So alerts, are automated, will help with the detection process. And these are some of the measures also mentioned in the 13.
In the 13 ones, right? And Irene, of course, it's easy, right, for people to ask, why weren't these measures then put in place before?
Right. It was applied in a haphazard way. And because agencies were left to define and devise their own protocols, and so the same set of data might have been treated in a different way in different agencies, and were not given the same treatment. So what the committee suggested with the 30 measures is to apply it consistently across all agencies. So it doesn't matter where the data resides in which agency, as long as they are sensitive, confidential, that conforms to the same definition, then they should be treated in a certain way. So there's a consistent application of safeguards for data that is considered safe or sensitive or confidential.
And with these new protocols, how would it affect us? Layman people like us, what do they mean?
We're quite removed from these applications because it's applied in the public sector. But if we had lost our data, if our data had lost citizens' data, then we would not be too happy about it. So it ultimately affects us, whether our data is protected properly. And these are government agencies, and they know a lot of things about us. They hold a lot of databases and information on us. So we would expect our data to be treated and safeguards, the right safeguards put in place. So as Singapore moves towards becoming smarter and towards digital living and allows and wants to tap onto this new economy where data is the new oil, right? Then we really have to consider and put in place more protections, more safeguards for
sure. Again, if you want to read more on the recommendations and really, this step towards like what Irene say, if it's a step towards being a smarter nation with data and all that, then of course there needs to be protection, better protection in place as well. You can visit our website at www.straitstimes.com. Once again, thank you so much, Irene, for coming on to the show. Now, again, earlier on, we spoke to Senior Transport Correspondent Christopher Tan, who shared with us more on the findings based on a comparison study that was done to see whether cabs all private hire cars like Grab or Gojek offer the best value in terms of fare and time, especially during peak periods. And earlier on also we had Irene, our tech editor, to tell us more about the 13 recommendations that have been rolled out by the public service sector to ensure protection of our personal data. So those are our top stories for the day. For more news and videos, of course, do log on to our website at www.straitstimes.com. Once again, I'm Haryanto. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.